I still have every text I wrote to him saved in my Notes app, not the ones I sent, the ones I never had the courage to hit send. There are 147 of them. Some are long paragraphs, some are just 3 words. I miss you. The oldest one is dated July 17th, 2024. The newest is from 3 weeks ago at 2:14 in the morning, when I couldn't sleep, and the silence in my apartment felt louder than any argument we ever had. I remember sitting on my bed that night, staring at my phone screen, wondering how someone could feel so close and yet feel so far away at the same time. It was like living in 2 different worlds. One world where I still loved him deeply, and one where I knew I was slowly losing myself. His name is Ethan. We met on Hinge in early 2023, back when I still believed dating apps could lead to something real, back when I still believed in magic, or at least something like it. He was 32, a graphic designer, lived in Brooklyn but traveled to Raleigh every few months for freelance gigs, and I was 31, working remote as a content strategist, living alone in a small 1-bedroom near downtown Raleigh. I still remember the first time I saw him in person. He showed up in a faded denim jacket, a little messy hair, but when he smiled, it felt like the entire coffee shop got warmer. I can still feel the way my hands shook slightly, how my chest tightened, but in a way that wasn't painful. It was excitement, hope, and maybe just a little fear. We talked for 4 hours that night, 4 hours that passed like minutes, 4 hours where it felt like the world had narrowed down to just us. He told me about his sister, who had just had a baby, about his plans to save money and eventually move closer to family. And I told him about growing up in a small town outside Charlotte, about how I moved to Raleigh for college, and never really left. By the end of the night, he asked if he could kiss me in the parking lot. I said yes, and it felt like the start of something gentle, something I wanted to last. For the first 6 months, it was perfect. Perfect in that fragile, early relationship way. Every moment felt like discovering something new about someone you already thought you knew. Long phone calls when he was away, late-night playlists he'd send me at 3 in the morning, songs I didn't know I needed to hear. But that somehow always felt like he had written them just for me. I remember one night, I was lying on my couch, scrolling aimlessly, and I realized he'd sent me a song I'd once said I loved, months ago. I smiled so hard, I almost cried, because someone was paying attention to the small things I said, the things I thought no one noticed. He called me Sunshine. I don't even remember when it started. Maybe it was the way I always wore yellow on our dates, or maybe it was just something he felt in his chest when he looked at me. I started keeping a little jar on my kitchen counter, a small glass jar, nothing fancy, where I dropped notes about the things I loved about him, things like the way you laugh when you're nervous, how you always ask how my day was first, the scar on your left eyebrow from falling off a skateboard at 14. Little reminders that made me smile every morning, that made me feel like maybe, just maybe, I deserved this kind of love. We had our inside jokes too. Bad coffee, terrible traffic in Raleigh, the way he always spilled a little sugar when he tried to make tea, small moments that felt monumental. Sometimes I'd catch him staring at me, not in a creepy way, but in a way that made me feel seen, understood, like I was the only person in the room, and I would smile, a little shy, a little embarrassed, but mostly happy. We spent weekends exploring Raleigh, brunch at our favorite cafe, Jubala, walking through Pullen Park, late-night talks on my couch where the world outside seemed to disappear. He held me, whispered that he missed me when he was gone, that he loved me in a way that felt tangible, Then the messages started slowing down. It wasn't dramatic at first, just longer gaps between replies. Sorry, swamped with deadlines. Crazy week. I'll call you tomorrow, promise. Tomorrow became next week. Next week became, I've been in a weird headspace. I told myself he was busy. I told myself not to overthink. I told myself love means giving people space. But the space grew. I started noticing little things I hadn't before. The way he would glance at his phone, then look away when I noticed. The subtle hesitation in his voice when he called. Even when he smiled, it didn't feel the same. I tried to ignore it. I wanted to believe in us. Even when the silence between texts felt heavy, like bricks on my chest. In October 2024, he came to Raleigh for a project. We spent the weekend together. Brunch at Jubala, walking around Pullen Park, late-night talks on my couch where the world outside seemed to disappear. He held me like he used to, whispered that he missed me, that things were hard, but he was trying. I wanted to believe him, so badly that I ignored the little warning signs. The way his phone stayed face down the entire time, the way he flinched at notifications, even the faint tension in his shoulders when I asked simple questions. The next morning, while he was in the shower, I saw it, a text preview on his lock screen, from someone named Lila. Can't wait to see you tonight. Miss your hands on me. I froze. My stomach dropped like I'd missed a step on stairs. When he came out, towel around his waist, smiling like nothing was wrong, I asked him who Lila was. He laughed, actually laughed, and said she was a client who flirted sometimes. Nothing serious. I wanted to believe that too. I let it go. I told myself I was being insecure. But the doubt stayed. Over the next 4 months, the pattern repeated. He'd disappear for days, then reappear with apologies, flowers, promises. I'm bad at texting when I'm stressed. Work is killing me. I'm scared I'm not enough for you. Each time he came back, I forgave him faster. I told myself love means understanding. I told myself everyone has rough patches, but each disappearance left a mark. A small ache in my chest that never fully went away. I started noticing how I was always waiting for him, checking my phone more often than I wanted, reading into every little delay, every missed call, every short reply. And still, I stayed, because I believed in us, even when my heart was quietly breaking a little more each time. Then came February 2025. He'd been distant for 3 weeks, barely replying. When he finally called, his voice sounded different. Guilty. Rushed. Claire, I need to tell you something. My heart sank before he even finished the sentence. I've been seeing someone. It's not serious, but it's been going on for a while. I didn't know how to tell you. I'm sorry. I didn't scream. I didn't cry on the phone. I said, okay, in a voice so calm it scared me. Then I hung up. That night, I opened my notes app and started writing. Not to him, to myself. Every unsent message I'd ever typed became a confession. I hate how much I still love you. I keep checking your Instagram stories even though I know you're with her. Why wasn't I enough? I wrote until my fingers hurt. Then I locked the phone and went to bed. The next morning, I woke up feeling hollow, but also strangely clear. I didn't text him back. I didn't beg. I didn't ask for closure. I just stopped. Weeks turned into months. I deleted his number, unfollowed him on everything. I started going to therapy. I started running again. I started saying yes to plans with friends I'd been too sad to see. I started living like someone who deserved more than half-hearted apologies. And then, in July 2025, he messaged me. "Hey, I know I don't deserve to reach out, but I saw you posted about your new job, and I just wanted to say I'm proud of you. I miss you. Can we talk?" I stared at the message for a long time. My thumb hovered over the reply button. I could feel the old ache trying to crawl back in, the familiar pull of hope, longing, and doubt. But instead of replying, I opened my Notes app, scrolled to the very first unsent message from July 2024. "I miss you even though you're right next to me." I read it once. Then I deleted the entire folder. I didn't reply to Ethan. I didn't need to. Some stories don't end with fireworks or grand declarations. Sometimes they end with a quiet choice: to stop waiting, to stop hoping, to stop letting someone else decide your worth. I chose me. And for the first time in a long time, that felt like enough. I walked outside that morning, the sun spilling golden light across the streets of Raleigh, birds chirping softly in the distance, and I felt a quiet sort of freedom I hadn't felt in years. No messages, no apologies, no waiting for someone else to decide my happiness. I brewed coffee, sat by my window, and let myself breathe. I thought about the girl I had been, the one who waited, the one who hoped, the one who let love define her worth. And I realized she had grown, she had healed, she had chosen herself. Some stories end with fireworks, some with confessions, some with grand gestures, but this one ends in quiet clarity, in the steady rhythm of my own heartbeat and the simple, undeniable truth that I am enough. And maybe that's the most powerful love story of all.